Hello guys, welcome back to Chris Baraka and family. So in this video we're going to be looking at 5 shocking prophecies that were prophesied by celestial the prophetess that are yet to come to pass. Yes, so every number from 1 to 5, all of them are quite shocking. There's much to say about them. Some of these prophecies, actually most of them are by the way, all of them have brought quite an uproar online. Wow, you know, I've just backtracked like from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of them have brought quite an uproar online, and people have different opinions on this. But anyway, time will always tell. So, without further ado, let's go in this prophecy. So we'll be analyzing them one by one. Make sure you watch all of them until the end. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and let's get into the video. So the first prophecy that we begin with is just this one that has been quite on people's mouths. The Kamala Harris president prophecy. So this one, at the time that I'm doing this video, has not yet come to pass, but it's a prophecy that was declared. So this is going to be the first prophecy we're going to be looking at.
This is what the Lord says. So late last night, I was in prayers, and after I'd finished the prayers and I was about to sleep, the Lord spoke to me so clearly, and he said, tell them these things from me. Tell them that these things will surely come to pass. There is no help anymore. America has surrendered her position. She has been taken over by the dragon. Tell them what I said. Kamala Harris is coming, and with her, some of the most dire times in U.S. history. When times are dire, we're looking at famine, flood, the lack of agriculture, the crash of money. Dire means when the human being is put into such severe straits that if you look at every single part of your life, every single part is failing. Every single part is not working. Every single part is a cause for fame, for pain. You're losing family members. You're losing friends. People are being buried left, right, and center. There is no work in the economy. There is no money in the economy. There is no economic health. There is no social health. The children are out of control. The children are being taken away by God. When things are dire, it literally means they have come to a point of no hope. God says that when you see Kamala Harris coming into power, she is bringing with her some of the worst times that this nation has ever passed through. He said she will be the president of this country and there's nothing to be done about it. Tell them it will be loss of freedom and loss of life like never before. Tell them from me that America will never be great again, and that decline and economic rot will eat this nation from the ground up like termites.
Yeah, so that's the very first prophecy. So by the time that at the time that I'm doing this video, this prophecy has not yet come to pass. Where to be exact is that Kamala Harris becoming the president of the United States. So that one yet has not yet come to pass, but there has been people, even prophets, who have gone ahead currently to do videos just to abuse her because of this prophecy. I don't know why they feel that this prophecy was just tied to this election period, because there's a video I did, probably if you've not watched it, you need to go and check it out, where I did a whole detail about this specific prophecy, and I shared so many of her videos from actually, was it 2013 if I'm not wrong, where she was just talking about the whole prophecy about Kamala Harris. So there's no part that she's saying that Kamala Harris is going to come in through an election. So I don't know why people are just focused just on the election period, and since maybe it didn't go out the way they thought that it should go out, they felt quite upset. Others were excited about it because they thought that, and they came up and saying that now Celestial is a false because currently the president-elect is Donald Trump. So prophecies, some of the prophecies take time and they don't work out the way you think they work out. So time will always tell. So this is the first one, this prophecy by Kamala Harris. So the second prophecy is Elon Musk robot prophecy. This is quite a shocking prophecy. And also, if you check the Bible where it talks about the rise of technology and everything, it's already prophesied in God's word. But listen to this as well.
And Elon Musk just came out in everyone's face with the same robots from iRobot in America. Forgot that Will Smith acted in iRobot to show them what happens when you blend society with robots. And if you are wise, you will know that the wickedness of these people. The robots don't cost 2 to 3 million. Opening price 20 to 30 grand. Every TikTok influencer who's selling perfume can afford a robot at 30 grand, because those kids are making 30 to 40,000 off the creator program. They have ads in their TikToks. They participate in the creator program. They're making that much money monthly. Some of these children are banking $100,000 monthly by participating in YouTube creator program, ad programs, this and that. These people will write you and tell you, oh, we just want to put an ad in your video and we're willing to pay $10,000. And you're sitting here with 3 hours of video and nothing but my face and a lamp. When someone comes out with something like a personal robot, and the opening cost is not 4 billion or 3 million to make sure that only Warren Buffett and the rest can get it, it's 30 grand. That tells you that, first of all, the tech is back produced in a way that's not hurting somebody's pocket. It's being produced in a way that it's not hurting the pockets. And if it's not hurting the pockets, then it's definitely not being produced by human means, because means of production are costly. You're not going to bring us a white titanium robot and tell us it cost you 15,000 to make, and if we just give you 30 grand, then you know what, let's call it even. No. There's a reason they want those creatures to be in the home.
There is a reason why they want these robots to be in our homes. Very true.
That's because from the top to the bottom of that robot, it's wired to hear, to see. Constant. It's like a snitch in the home. But watch Americans line up to get it. Just watch. And they're going to drop it from 30 to 20 to 10 to 5,000 until it's only $500. And everybody is going to think that a robot is a great accessory next to everybody. You live in a home with people who think the robot is nice. They're bringing the robot in that house regardless of if you're saved or not.
So there's so much she's sharing on this prophecy. She's talking also about surveillance, because she's saying that these robots, not only just for the technology rise and people to have robots, because definitely I know that robots will be having different functions. Like, for example, right now there are hotels that instead of them having waiters and waitresses, actually they have robots. So robots are serving you. You can order from the robots. You can actually, they come and pick the dishes and everything. So there is that going on. So robots are of different purposes. Even this, so here she's also talking about surveillance in our homes. You know, where now someone is just going to be somewhere and they're going to be actually surveilling you, because these robots are not only going to be used for the purpose that you think they're going to be used for, but also someone is going to take advantage of that just for means of controlling the masses. So something else is that robots, they're going to replace some of these works that people are doing. And I've seen a lot of people wonder, okay, then what is going to happen? You know, what is going to happen to the many that are working, for example, even in petrol stations? What is going to happen? The many who are working probably in sales in supermarkets. And even in marriage, there are robots that are created, robots that are like wives wipe robots. So robots are going also to be playing some of these functions that are supposed to be just our natural functions, but now people are going to be using robots in replacement. Even with these toys, these, let me just say, sex toys and all that. So this is so partly of this part of these prophecies already in play currently, but there's still a greater part of this prophecy that I tend to believe that it's actually going to rise up in the coming year, that is 2025. We're going to be seeing a rise of this. By the time we get to 2030, I'm telling you, we'll be in a very different world than the one that we are in right now, because there is a rise of this technology, especially. I'm telling you, it's quite crazy. I saw a clip the other day that someone was just using the palm of his hand and is making different types of payments everywhere. You just get something from the shelf, you come place, there's no one even to serve you. You just place your palm, the palm of your hand on that system right there, and you move, you just leave. So already this is taking, it's happening, but there'll be a rise of this. So probably on a later video, I'll get into more detail about this, because there's so much to share about this. Let me know in the comment section if it's something that you can actually be interested in. So the third prophecy, one that is still yet to happen, is the prophecy on Donald Trump. So this is prophecy number 3.
Donald Trump will be killed, but he said it will be in a way and a manner that you do not expect. His life will be taken, but in a way and a manner you did not see coming. America will receive a blow when he is killed, but that is not all she will get. And then I was silent for a while, just sitting there and hearing that. And then he said, a wrenching pain, a heart-wrenching pain, a wrenching pain, a blow to the chest, and a wound to the head. Not the wound of the Antichrist. It is not the deadly wound that was healed. It is the wound of treachery, the mortal wound of an enemy. And so you hear the Lord say that the very same prophecy that was first given to me in 2019 concerning President-elect Donald Trump, that this man is a formidable force in this nation. This man has become a pedagogue in the nation of America. He is platformed not only on the earth, but he is platformed up to the heavens by the American people and all who have aligned themselves with America to be an American ally.
Yeah, so this prophecy is quite a recent prophecy, but it's a prophecy that she has been talking about for a lot of years. So the video that I did about Kamala Harris, I also covered these prophecies by Donald Trump, because they have been there for quite a while, probably even from 2013. These are prophecies that she's been talking about for quite a while. So you can just have a look at that video. The title of that video is called What Everyone Missed on Kamala Harris and Donald Trump Prophecy. I went in more detail about these prophecies. I covered most of these prophecies. So that is something that you can actually go and check in case you just want a deeper understanding about this, because I spoke about this. So she was just talking about this the other day as well, and saying that Donald Trump is actually not God. So the president-elect is not God. Yeah, and there are people who have been praising Donald Trump even from the time when, you know, there has been a lot of different assassination attempts and allegations as well. That those are just allegations though, but we've been seeing a lot of different assassination attempts towards Donald Trump, even from the one that he actually missed a bullet in one of his campaigns. We saw that, and that went quite, it was all over. And definitely there's that favor. It's clearly there's that favor. And yes, that brought different type of opinions and reactions from different people, but time will always tell. So let us just see. But in case you want to have a broader look at this prophecy, just go and watch that video.
In this matter of elevating Donald Trump far, far, far above the level that any human being should ever attain to. Men praise this man with tears in their eyes. Women hold out their babies for him to kiss. He is praised, and he has become, without question, an object of inordinate affection. All these things have been covered in the Donald Trump prophecy, so there's no reason for me to retrod old ground. Inordinate affection simply means that you are loving something beyond the set level for you to love it. You can love ice cream, but when you begin to have ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and supper, you have completely destroyed the purpose and the placement of ice cream. Ice cream is a dessert, and it is meant to be had in moderation after the main meal. You're not supposed to have it for breakfast, lunch, and supper, because you will destroy your arteries, you will destroy your basal fat system, and you will ruin your body. And all kinds of things will follow by abusing something that does exist, but by coming into it in wrong attachment. And this is what Donald Trump is to the nation. When you tell an American this, they get insulting. They get attacked. It is harder for an American to examine their own heart and to give placement to what God Almighty says about the man that he created. They absolutely refuse to do it. They will always argue. They will always fight. And the same is true on the Democratic side. But in these prophecies, God has made it clear that nobody makes Joe Biden an idol. His exact words are, it's hard to be considered an idol when you are struggling with cognition. So then, he says that since John F. Kennedy, America has not lifted up, America has not praised, America has not idol worshipped, and America has not venerated a human being in this manner in the political arena. Not even Barack Obama, not even Bill Clinton, the Lord says, attained to this kind of height. Hero worship, man worship, as a pedagogue, a demigod, a god of sorts, until this man has been platformed up into the heavens itself. When God presents this man, shows this man is shown as a monolith, a statue, a colossus that towers over the whole America. All these things are in the Donald Trump prophecies that most people who have come here to run their mouth have never clicked. And when they clicked it, immediately their attitude began to fight the word of the Lord. I don't see that. Those videos are filled with comments of, well, I just don't see why God doesn't like him, because you can't see anything beyond your clouded cotton candy eyes.
So the next prophecy, that is prophecy number 3. Pardon that type error right there saying number 1, but this is prophecy number 3, is actually a mermaid prophecy. So this prophecy has brought quite a lot of confusion. This one has brought a lot of confusion because people didn't get to understand it. Some people are thinking that maybe she's just getting these prophecies from movies. So people just think of all these weird things. But yeah, so this is prophecy number 3, the mermaid prophecy.
The final part of this prophecy. The mermaids will come out of the sea and walk among you. They will change their skin. They will change their color to your colors, to look more human, to be accepted by humanity. But you will know what they are. They will allow themselves to be seen. They will allow themselves to be photographed for the first time. They will show themselves to people, and the world will split. This was capital letters, over the coming of the last days Nephilim to live among men. So I think I only have one comprehensive prophecy on mermaids, the Nephilim of the sea. These creatures are extremely savage. They are extremely cunning. They manifest in physical form, meaning that it is possible to touch one, but they also traffic highly in the world today as spirits. These are marine entities, marine spirits. These are Nephilim of the waters, and they are extremely dangerous. They bring forth very much sexual promiscuity into the world. You're having trouble with getting your sexuality straight. You think that you're a man and when you're really a woman, or you think that you're a woman when you're really a man. Marine spirits and the ideology of the fallen ones are behind that. They cause great proliferation of sexual sin in the earth because of the growth of human sexuality bubbling out of its place, meaning that people don't want to restrain themselves. People just want to have all the sex in the world. They don't want to get married. Marriage is becoming obsolete in the world. People don't actually see why they should have to get married to.
You know, I always say that for all the actions, because life is very spiritual, so all the actions that you see people make, people take, even sometimes you find that someone is actually a man and they're saying that they identify probably as a different gender, and then you just wonder, all these things actually have a spiritual influence behind it. So the question is it an influence of God, or what influence is it? There's always a spiritual influence because life is very spiritual. I'll do a later video and just get to actually just get in depth and explore more about this Nephilim of the sea, talk more about the mermaids, talk more about Mami water, these marine spirits, because I've seen that this is one prophecy that people didn't understand what she's talking about. Some felt like she's talking about a scene in a movie. This is not a scene in a movie. Like, I think there's a series known as Siren or something. Some are thinking like, okay, is it a scene from Siren? And even these people who do these movies, you know, like, for example, a series like that, Siren, they're trying to send to you a certain message. You know, some of these films actually, they really talk beyond. It's more than entertainment. It's more than entertainment. There's actually a certain very spiritual message that they send to people. It's just that people are not spiritual sensitive. People are not sensitive to the things of the spirit, or rather they don't understand actually God's word. They don't understand who the devil is, how the devil moves and operates. So some of these films, you know, people just watch. Like, for example, even for the pandemic, before the pandemic came to actually that was the year 2020, there were certain films that if you had watched those films, they had those lockdowns. Those films were talking about lockdowns, people just being locked, not being allowed to go even in school and everything, just because of this pandemic. Yeah, so there's quite a spiritual influence, clearly, even in some of these filmmakers. These are just not films. Some of them are like prophecies of things that are to come. Probably they have these as they have, you know, it's like a word of knowledge. So on a later video, I'll do and talk more about this, because this I've seen has been quite a confusing prophecy for many.
To have sex. They don't see why they should deny themselves any pleasure. After all, you only live once. This is the mindset that Satan puts in people, because like I said, the lake of fire is still accepting applications, and Satan is making sure that humanity fills all the applications, not some. He wants to go to the lake, all. That is his goal. God's goal is some. because God knows that not all people are wise and not all people will choose life, even though life and death is being put before us all in these end times every day. The ending you choose is 100% your choice. If you go to hell, you will not be able to blame God. Those were the choices you made, the life you lived. It will be all you. And so God says they will come out of the sea and walk among you. And I did have such a clear vision on, it was June sometime in 2021. That prophecy is definitely 2 years old. I might read a little bit from it because it's part of my notes. It's not for publication. He says that they will come out of the sea among us and walk among us. I've shared in the old prophecy that mermaids are fully fish in the water, and then they can transform to have legs here on earth. This is when they are taking their tangible form. When they come out of the water and have legs, they are stunning men and women. Understand this. They are not coming to be among us to look like us. They surpass human beauty. But yet when you see them in their true form, you will understand why God says they change their skin. The way they really look is light blue, medium blue, dark blue, just like we look light, very, very light Caucasian. And then we look light brown, medium brown, different shades of olive and tan. That is how their skin color varies, but it is a blue hue. Yet when they come on earth, they change the colors to look more human, to be accepted by humanity. So they adopt our shades because blue people will be very easily noticed by us. Yet God says, you will know who they are. He was talking to me. I represent the group of people who have spiritual discernment. When God is saying these things, he's not just speaking exclusively to me. He's speaking to all his children who have learned to increase their discernment.
Yeah, so that is actually that prophecy right there by the Nephilim. So there's this prophecy where now it's a prophecy on men of God. So this is going to be the final shocking prophecy.
That in 10 years' time, he had his eye on particular ministers. He said that he was going to be watching them. He was going to be weighing them in the balance. And I spoke about this in the video about, it's called A Word to the Righteous. God said he was going to be weighing fivefold ministers in the balance. This word was given to me on January 17, 2014. And it's simply called A Word on January 17, 2014. He said he was going to be evaluating them, and within 10 years, he would have reached an estimation on some of the world's biggest ministers. So imagine there's just me. I'm just with God, spending more and more time in my notebooks, beginning to fill up my notebooks with things that I've never heard, and growing a healthy fear of God. And to just little me, God begins to name names. Joyce Meyer, T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, Eddie Long, Benny Hinn. And he said that these people would be weighed. He was going to check each one of them. And he said, not all of them will be around at the end of the 10-year period. And not all of them are going to see my face either. They're going to die one by one, Celestial, and you are going to hear about it. He says that some of them will be in heaven. So God says that there would be ministers who, even though they die, their final estimation would be with him in heaven. He said that these ones that are taken away, they will see my face because I took them away to keep them from perdition. I was speaking of Minister Miles Monroe, who died tragically and shockingly. And as most people will admit, it seemed way before his time. It seemed that that man would still have a race to run. But I spoke about how everybody gets a unicycle, that we're supposed to cycle with precision on the narrow road. And that man's unicycle began to jump off the track. And God took him. God said that he took him. And the prophecies on the master's blog, on the master's voice, it's called Cornucopia, and it's from 2019. And so the Lord said that he would take people to heaven. He said that several of them, and here is one, he said Eddie Long will receive in his flesh the eternal punishment of the things he's done. Creflo Dollar shall not see my face unless he repents, but his wife will be received because she...
There's actually a video of Pastor Creflo Dollar repenting about different things. So on a later video, I'll cover that in detail, but that is also a prophecy of some of the ministers, and it was actually a 10-year period that was from 2014 to 2024. And yes, within that time, we've seen so much going on. Some have lost their lives, some are still here, some have repented, some are different things here and there. So yes, that is also a prophecy that is yet to take its full accomplishment, because there are different names also in that prophecy. And over different times, I've also been able to cover about different ministers here and there. But that marks the end of the top of the 5 shocking prophecies by celestial prophetess that are yet to come. So on a later video, I'll also cover some of the prophecies that have actually come to pass, because there are people who have always been like, you know, she just talks things, she just talks things. So it's good for us also to be able to see the ones that have come to pass. I think that one we should do like 10. I'll try and create time and just tackle like 10 prophecies, you know, that have actually come to pass, so that we can look at them. So this one was just looking at the ones that have not yet come to pass fully, because some of the prophecies are already in motion. And yeah, it's important for us to just check some of these things over time. It's very important, because I know there's a lot of an attack towards celestial. Even personally, there has been a lot of attack towards this platform. It's okay, but now when definitely we get to share in more detail and just to see what's happening, probably people will have a better understanding of what's going on. So yeah, I think I'll end this video at this point. Don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe if you haven't. Take blessed, and see you on the next episode.